Season 4 of Breaking Bad is a masterclass in suspense, psychological warfare, and character transformation. As Walter White deepens his role as a meth kingpin, the season revolves around his increasingly dangerous conflict with Gus Fring, a brilliant and ruthless drug lord. The tension escalates across 13 tightly plotted episodes, culminating in one of the most shocking and iconic finales in TV history. This season solidifies Breaking Bad's reputation, not just as a drama about crime, but as an intricate story about power, ego, manipulation, and survival. Season 4 opens with Gus Fring reasserting his control. After Jesse kills Gail Bodisher in Season 3's finale, Gus is forced to keep Walt alive, for now. However, the balance of power has shifted. Walt knows he's on borrowed time. The once strategic relationship between Walt and Gus turns into a tense chess match, with each move bringing them closer to a deadly confrontation. Gus, always composed and methodical, begins isolating Jesse from Walt. He brings Jesse into his inner circle by having him accompany Mike Ehrmantraut, Gus's enforcer, on rounds. Jesse, craving purpose and validation, responds positively. This wedge between Walt and Jesse becomes one of Gus's most effective tactics. Walt, growing more paranoid, manipulates Jesse's emotions and loyalty, subtly suggesting that Gus may be using him. Their partnership, once built on necessity, becomes a war zone of mistrust and control. Inside the meth superlab, the tension is almost unbearable. Walt continues cooking, but installs a secret bugging device to spy on Jesse's conversations. Meanwhile, Gus's surveillance extends outside the lab, keeping constant tabs on both men. As Gus distances Jesse from Walt, Jesse begins working with Mike to manage street dealers and even helps defuse a cartel ambush. His effectiveness boosts his credibility in Gus's eyes, while also creating internal conflict. Jesse increasingly struggles with his role in the operation and his loyalty to Walt, who continues feeding him paranoia and fear. Gus's storyline broadens in Season 4, with flashbacks revealing his mysterious past. We learn that he once worked with the Mexican cartel, but a betrayal left his partner Max Arciniega murdered by Don Eladio, the cartel boss. These flashbacks contextualize Gus's cool demeanor and reveal his long game: revenge. In Episode 10, Salud, Gus, Jesse, and Mike travel to Mexico under the guise of negotiating peace with the cartel. Jesse impresses by cooking a flawless batch of meth. Then, in a dramatic twist, Gus poisons Don Eladio and his men, effectively decapitating the cartel leadership. Though wounded, Gus escapes with Jesse and Mike, cementing his victory over the cartel and positioning himself as the sole drug king of the Southwest. Back in Albuquerque, Walt's desperation reaches new heights. He buys a revolver and even contemplates killing Gus personally. However, his every move is monitored. Feeling powerless, Walt turns increasingly erratic, even placing a bomb on Gus's car, unsuccessfully. Meanwhile, Skyler becomes further entangled in the criminal enterprise. She launders money through the car wash and orchestrates a complex plan to help Ted Beneke pay off the IRS to avoid exposing their finances. Ted's refusal to cooperate leads to Skyler sending Saul Goodman's goons to persuade him, an encounter that results in Ted's accidental injury. Skyler's moral boundary continues to blur, showing that she too is being consumed by Walt's world. Jesse's emotional journey is central to Season 4. Despite being drawn into Gus's world, he still yearns for morality and human connection. His relationship with Andrea and her son Brock reignites his sense of responsibility. However, when Brock falls mysteriously ill, Jesse suspects Walt poisoned him to manipulate him back into an alliance. Walt denies it and redirects Jesse's suspicion toward Gus. Convinced, Jesse helps Walt in an elaborate plan to eliminate Gus once and for all. The season reaches its iconic climax in Episode 13, Face Off. Walt and Jesse recruit Hector Salamanca, Gus's old enemy and the wheelchair-bound ex-cartel hitman, to lure Gus into a trap. Using Hector as bait, Walt plants a bomb on Hector's wheelchair. In a stunning scene, Gus visits Hector in his nursing home. Hector, seemingly submissive, suddenly detonates the bomb, killing both himself and Gus. Gus walks out of the room for a moment, seemingly unharmed before collapsing, revealing half of his face has been blown off. The death of Gus Fring is both symbolic and spectacular. Walt, once an amateur and over his head, has now defeated a master criminal through cunning and ruthlessness. The balance of power has shifted permanently. In the final moments, we learn the shocking truth. Walt did poison Brock, not with ricin, but with a non-lethal lily of the valley plant, confirming just how far he is willing to go.